And welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing, a podcast devoted to a genre of music that we love, and I'm still working on this bit. I have not gotten there. It's a ghost cult joint. Thank you for joining us. Of course, I am Nick Cameron, also known as Jose.
And I'm Mark.
As always, I am joined by my good friend, my partner, Keefy Chummies. How we doing today, buddy?
What's up? Do we have a concept of a plan of a podcast, or do we have a podcast?
I don't know. We have concepts. We've been working on this for 9 years now. We got a concept. We're almost there.
If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you are here to hear us rap about the greatest guitar player Pink Floyd ever had, David Gilmour, thank you. If you are into metal in and of itself, you should be subscribed. You should be liked. There's giveaways coming. There are vinyl giveaways coming. We've got to get to 100 subscribers. Once we get to 100, we're gonna pick a winner. Probably two winners, and I'm gonna be sending two people cool vinyl stuff, including, as new friend Don Delamont loves, Foreigner. There will be Foreigner records for both winners. But once we hit 100, I'm going to announce the prize for the 500 subscriber.
Yeah, my master plan for launching this thing did not happen, but we'll get it launched before this goes live on Friday. It'll be live for the release of the pod on Friday. So this is the announcement of the contest. We're actually doing it now.
I realized I have got a fairly valuable record that I have no interest in owning anymore. I got it on a reasonable price. And this is something worth around $150 to $200. And everybody who's a subscriber is eligible for every giveaway. Period. Full stop. As long as you live in the continental United States. Or Canada, if you'll pay the shipping. Because that's crazy. Anyway, so how we do this is a greeting vinyl news. Damn it. Greeting, beer check, vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat of the day. And yeah, that's how we do this. My beer this week is once again my favorite beer in the world, an STLIPA, a STLIPA by Urban Chestnut Brewing, who recently filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy because they owe $7.4 million. So I'm going to buy up all of the STLIPA while I can.
Do you think they're going out of business, or is Chapter?
I'm hoping it's corporate chicanery because I would hate to give up this beer, quite frankly.
Damn, that sucks. I'm heartbroken to know this. They're probably not going to send us any free product now.
Doubtful.
No sponsorships to be had. Guess what I have? I have something new, something old, something borrowed, something green. Liquid Death.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a Green Dales of some sort that I was unaware of.
No, I wish, but it's something I've never had before. It's the Liquid Death tea. It is the green Guillotine, green tea, agave, and vitamins tea. Let's see how it is.
That sounds flatly awful. I'm sorry.
It might be terrible. We don't know. Pop, no glass. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Doesn't taste like anything. It's just kind of like.
Do you
water.
want me to do my vinyl check now? I'm not doing a proper vinyl check as this is a vinyl episode for me. Or do you want me to hold on for one more day?
So explain to me. Re-explain. So you don't. So you do have a vinyl check, or you don't?
Yes.
But I'm not aside from Gilmour.
Aside from Gilmour, no.
Then let's not.
Okay. So here's my vinyl check. My vinyl check is this week I've decided to start wearing my glasses on the podcast because I am vain and I think I look better with them on.
Jury is out. I think luckily you don't have a glare from the glasses, but
yeah, I pointed the light downwards.
That's probably good. Yeah. All right. So we are doing the Gilmour vinyl check now, or we're gonna just wait till let's wait. I
asked you what you wait till later.
Yeah, what did we do with the ghoul? We waited for the meat.
We waited till I asked you what you wanted me to do this week, so I'm offering it to you.
We're just making it up as we go along on the show. Fine.
Hey, we have a concept. We have a concept for a podcast.
Unbox the vinyl later.
Correct. Okay, I'm down. I've always been
Green check.
down, down. You know, I've always been words. I don't know. That song is stupid.
311. Yeah. 311 is fun one day a year on 311 day.
311 is a lot like Ministry for me. It's really great in the background. It's not so great up in the fronts, in the good seats.
Blasphemy.
Look, I will blaspheme. I will blaspheme in this house, Elwood Blue.
It is
Blues.
not
Elwood
heresy,
Blues.
and I will not recant. A song you got to hear a couple weeks ago.
By whom? I don't even know what that is.
Supercharger Heaven by White Zombie.
Look, I only know one song off that record, and I don't like it.
Oh,
I don't like that record, so
That
I don't
record's
care.
great.
You doing a vinyl
Yeah.
check? What are you doing today?
I'm not doing a vinyl check. We're going to wait till the next episode to check a vinyl.
Alrighty.
Except for Gilmour.
So, news check. This past weekend, I went to see beer vinyl news, shirt, meat. Okay. I went to see the Outlaw Country Tour, which featured, top of the bill, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, along with John Cougar Mellencamp, and a rhythm and blues band from Memphis. And when I say rhythm and blues, I mean like legitimately rhythm and blues, not what we call R&B. Called Southern Avenue. Southern Avenue had amazing talent, amazing abilities, but their songwriting isn't there yet. They put on a great performance, but none of their songs grabbed me as songs, so I did not purchase a record, and I don't have any intention as of yet. I will check out their new record when it comes out in, I believe they said the spring. Next up was John Cougar Mellencamp, Jack and Diane, of course. I am not a big fan of the Jack and Diane singer. I will say he sounded really rough. Like, you know how I always try to get a little bit of gravel in my voice that I don't really have when we do this? You know, when I'm talking like this, you know, French fried taters. You know, that thing? It sounded like he had just eaten 4 to 5 packs of unfiltered Camels lit, like eating them, and they were just down his throat. And if George Thorogood sounded like this, I would be giving him a wellness check. His voice was so gravelly. I mean, is this joke landing? I mean, I don't know if it's landed. Anybody?
Nope. Crickets.
Didn't land? Didn't land? Okay. He sounded like this. No, did he? My the American kid.
Dr. Teeth, basically.
No. Dr. Teeth sounded like Pavarotti in comparison.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like, I was like, when he did like When the Walls Come Tumbling Down or whatever that song's called, that sounded really good. Like there would be like a word or every other like sentence he would get like in just a little bit of that old school John Cougar, so it was fine. Then out comes Bob Dylan, I assume.
Oh, no.
This is the weirdest show I have ever seen. Okay. The entire band is in a semicircle around a man behind a piano. That man, I presume, was Bob Dylan. I don't know. The entire stage was dark. You could not see any faces. The camera never did a close-up on anyone. So it was like one shot, like that far away shot the entire show. And we were in the seats, so I don't know, man. And then, so like the whole time I'm like, is it or isn't it? And then Willie comes out, and at this point in time, we weren't expecting a fourth band. We were expecting to have already left the show an hour and a half ago, and we didn't expect there to be. We only thought it was going to be 3. The kid was with us. She had a report due, so we're getting antsy and getting grumpy. And we listened to like one song by Willie, and it just wasn't. It wasn't all there. So what I realized, you know, these are musical legends, providing that actually was Bob Dylan, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm seriously, I don't know. That could have been a Bob Dylan tribute dude. No idea. And I'm not the right person for that show. because these guys are very, very old. I'm not a big fan of.
Wanted to go to this, right?
We all wanted to go. I mean, ish. But the thing is these guys, we talk about going to see these people that you love before they're gone. And that's the problem here is I did not absolutely love their music. I did not absolutely love their songs enough that I could look past that they've lost some speed off their fastball. And so I was not a big enough fan to attend the show. Ticket prices were fairly reasonable. I don't remember for sure. Also, still irritated that Robert Plant and Alison Krauss were on parts of the tour, and I did not get that. I got John Cougar Mellencamp.
I was waiting for you to mention that you did not get Robert and
yeah, we talked about that a little bit that day. The kid was not thrilled.
Yeah, I bet. Did John Cougar at least do like ROCK in the USA?
Oh yeah, he played all his hits. He played I think he played about 12 songs. He got a
good.
Yeah, he played that one. He got a good amount of time, and he was fine. It's just his voice sounds like he is an 8 to 10 pack a day smoker.
He probably is. I sound like one now.
No, I mean you sound like a silver-tongued golden god in comparison. My other bit of news is another concert of mine is officially canceled. Lawyer wife and I were heading out to see Heart. The kid was going to go. It was a Saturday night in St. Louis. So we had 3 tickets to see Heart. So guess who's getting $250 credited back to his credit card? They
rebooked the tour, but no St. Louis is what you're saying.
Correct. They rebooked the tour without a St. Louis date.
That sucks.
When they booked the tour originally, it was the beginning of the hockey season, and when they rebooked the tour, it is the stretch run of the hockey season. So if they could not get in January in St. Louis, it's probably not going to happen because January is the... I don't know if anybody knows this, but in January in St. Louis Blues hockey, that is when the Blues are out for basically the entire month. They'll play 2 to 3 games at home in the month of January, and that's it. The rest of it's on the road because that's when the circus comes in.
Yeah, January, a.k.a. when the Blues are still in the race to be in the
Hey,
playoffs.
We're going to be good this year. Hey, how your Nats doing? How them Nats doing?
What? My team is the
Rangers.
The
New York Gnats.
The Gnats?
The Gnats.
Giants? They're terrible. I'm fucked.
There you go.
My whole year is ruined.
You can join me in the proper. You can join me in good football, or you do that. Whatever you want to do.
I don't know what. There's only one football, NFL, National Football League.
There's plenty of football.
They have very expensive tax shelter for building.
A brand new football league was announced this week. I said what I said.
Anyway, that going to do well.
No, it's going to do terrible. Anyway, that is my news segment. Thank you for listening.
I don't have a lot of news. I guess we don't normally talk about stuff like this. Well, first and foremost, let's plug the thing we did. We did a thing yesterday.
Yeah, I apologize. I was actually going to say, and I forgot because I got in my own dick. Thank you very much for allowing me to take part in the wonderful live stream we did last night talking about the Slayer reunion, which can be seen at the link below on this podcast. We got several of the Keefy got several of the metal luminaries to chime in on how we feel about the Slayer reunion, blah, blah, blah. I was thankful and lucky to be a part of that because I'm not really a journalist anymore, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate you. It's what I appreciate about you.
Well, I was going to say, you're still, to me, a metal expert. You may not be a journalist, or maybe you never thought you were, but I think you are.
No, I totally thought I was.
Yeah, you are still. If you work for me, you're still a journalist. So there's your thing, you know?
I will be covering Guar next week, which reminds me, I got to talk to you about Wednesday next week, too.
You'll be celebrating, yes, that's true. You'll be celebrating my birthday without me watching one of my favorite bands.
Nico Case?
No. I might be going to see Dark Tranquility and Amorphous, though I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Meaning I have to hit up the PR and see if I can get into the show.
That was my favorite part about being a music journalist is when one of your friends sends you a text message saying, hey, do you want to go see Highly Suspect with me? Bank account's red. I don't know who Highly Suspect is. Let me send an email. Yes, Christina, I'll definitely go to Highly Suspect with you now that I'm reviewing the show.
Right.
And then they got really popular.
Never been a big fan of that.
I am not a big fan, but it was cool to be able to, like, my friend asked me if I will go to a show with her, and I got in free. So that's my big wang swinging right there.
Yeah, big wang. This microphone's bothering me. I don't know. We did a roundtable with included Mr. Nick here and myself and several other metal luminaries, as you said, to discuss the comeback of Slayer, which begins in T-minus, from the time you're listening to this podcast, T-minus 8 or 9 days. I'm pretty excited, but there are a lot of questions abound about the return of Slayer, and we're hit fishing a little bit by talking about them, but I think it's interesting. We'll see what happens. The door is open. The door is ajar for them to do more. They could also do less. I don't know. Just don't know. I didn't think this story was real. We alluded to it yesterday during our thing. Dave Grohl went on his Instagram. Dave Grohl was widely regarded as like one of the nicest guys in the world. Charitable, fun, kind, funny. He had a child out of wedlock in his marriage with another woman.
He pulled an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, everybody's human. Everybody's fallible. We don't know what happened. His wife, who's a former supermodel, by the way, he has 3 kids with.
You know what? I'm not ever going to give anybody a pass with the everybody's fallible when it comes to this sort of thing. This is a choice.
Like cheaters. Cheating is one of my deal breakers in life and relationships. If it's happened to you, it's devastating. I don't understand. You don't know what's going on in their life. They might have just had, an arrangement where they're not together anymore, but doesn't sound like it. He seemed very apologetic. I didn't think it was real. And then I saw it was like, oh no, it's on his Instagram. He posted it. It's real. His daughter, one of his daughters is in his touring band, by the way. How's that conversation going to go? And, California divorces, you get half. So, Grohl is worth like $400 billion, probably. Yeah.
It's only going to be half of marital property, and it's not like he married her before he got rich, right? He didn't marry her when he was like 22 or 23, did he?
No, he married her in 2003 or 4 or 5. So, but...
Oh, so it's a marriage of 23 years, not when he was 23. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the big money came... Mm-hmm. Good luck, Dave.
Yeah, more recently. But, I mean, he already had Nirvana money by then. Maybe they weren't what they were now.
Legitimate question. Is there even Nirvana money? Is that a real thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking the question because they didn't tour very heavy. And they didn't have
the catalog sells, and the catalog sells. They have several billion songs on streaming, so they actually probably get money from their streaming stuff.
Well, none of that is marital. Well, no, I guess all the streaming would be marital property. Because marital property begins the moment you get married. So,
It's interesting that you know all this.
One, I am married to an attorney, lawyer wife, who actually filed her own first divorce. 2, I did have designs to be an attorney for quite some time. 3, I have several college-level law courses and high school law courses under my belt. So I actually do, and I'm a criminal justice minor. So I do actually have significant layman's knowledge of legal theory and all that kind of stuff. Not that I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm just saying I know more than your average gutter rat like us.
Legitimately fair enough. Fair enough, sir. I cede my time. I don't think there's really much else to talk about. We're in the thick of festival season, so like I said, there's a lot of activity going on there. We're in the stretch run of the albums. 8 to 10 more weeks of albums coming out in the year. At some point, we will have to do a Record Store Day Black Friday preview episode.
Oh my God, that's coming up. That's like not that far away.
Not that far away, my friend. 10 weeks away. So that list is going to get announced very soon.
Oh, you know what's going to be great for the 4th year in a row? we're going to do a preview show and we're going to piss on it and shit on it and go, oh yeah, we're not going. And then the week after it happens, 2 days after it happens, we're going to be on a Zoom call whipping out our preciouses at each other that we got on Black Friday. So can we be honest this year when we do it? Because we've never been honest. We've always chat on it and then gone.
I don't know. We've only been together for 2 years, dude. Like
it's like 4. Really? I mean, we did Instagram lives for like 8 months.
That's true.
And then like 3 months or 4 months after I started the Department of Metal Antiquities with Duncan Evans, you were a guest at like episode 20. And now we're at episode 197, I think.
97 or 98, yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been longer than 2 years.
We're gonna hit episode 200 in Mastodon episode 2. I'm so excited.
So that's the chaser then. That's my reprieve. Anyway, let us move on before we get too crazy. Would you like a vinyl unboxing now? If so, pause the recording because one of us did not remember to pull the damn thing off the turntable.
Shirt check first.
God damn it anyway. My shirt check is Tetris. Tetris is interesting for 2 reasons. 3 reasons. 1, it was a Soviet Union export. Not post-Soviet Union. This came out in the 80s, before the Soviet Union collapsed. 2, the creator became a self-made millionaire in a communist state. I believe only the second on record. The first would be Anton Rubik. Any idea who that is? What he did?
I think he made like a sphere thing.
He made a sphere thing. He was very famous for creating a puzzle that you had to flip-flop stuff around in order to create a specific geometric shape. That geometric shape, of course, was 3 circles intertwined, which is the very famous Rubik's Magic.
That's incredible. Before I do my shirt check, I just want to say that
He also had the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, I was going to say the Rubik's Cube. I was going to say I briefly looked at the can side profile, and it says microdose of natural caffeine, 30 milligrams per can. Like, that's a strange factoid to hide on the side.
Wait. 30 milligrams is not a microdose. That's a cup of coffee, right? Isn't it?
Right? I mean, I don't know.
Actually, you know what? Let's just find out.
Google.
Oh my God! I'm like driving.
How much caffeine is in a cup of coffee?
I'm driving home listening to NPR like a week ago, right? And somebody comes on and says, "Hey Siri, turn on." All I have to do when I come home is say, "Hey Siri, turn on NPR." Oh crap! My phone's doing it right now.
You're bougie. That's why you have Siri.
Look, it's doing it.
Cup of coffee has 95 milligrams.
In your Apple Music library. You can ask me to play a radio station.
Just all your credibility is going with me.
I have no credibility. Look, everybody knows I am a PC guy. My computer is a PC. Everything I have in this world is a PC except my phone. And you know what? My phone is awesome, and I love it way more than my Android. I love it way more than my BlackBerry.
Okay, fair enough. An average cup of coffee, according to Google, has 95 milligrams of caffeine. So okay. I don't know about microdose. Doesn't seem
that's like accurate. So 30 is like a soda or a cup of tea. Not what I would call a microdose.
I think microdose is like a hipster adjective they threw on here to make it sound cool, but it's not.
Oh, to finish my story, when that guy said that on NPR, it actually opened up my St. Louis NPR app and started playing it through my phone while I was driving and listening to it. So I got it in stupid stereo. And could you go ahead and hit pause on the recording?
No, I can't because I didn't
Oh, shit. Why do I hate your shirt so much?
You just hate my shirts.
It's completely
awesome
unconscious.
Shirt.
I apologize.
Look at my awesome shirt from the Fillmore, formerly known as the Fillmore West, when there was also a Fillmore East. And there are Fillmores all around the country now. But this is the Fillmore, San Francisco. I love that venue. I was there recently to see The Church, who was amazing.
It's the Fillmore, not a Fillmore.
It is the Fillmore, but there are other associated Fillmores.
I don't have one. I'd like. What would be nice is if this Fillmore company would go downtown and find the American Theater, which is a vaudeville theater, and just re-up that sumbitch. That's where Slayer used to play back in the day. A lot of bands played there, and my dumb ass Never went there. And when I see photos of it, it just looks amazing, and I really regret never having gone there.
This
Not that it
sounds
matters
like
anymore, because now we have this place called St. Louis. Like the St. Louis club theater scene has been always very strange. The We had Pops for a long time and still have it, and then the pageant opened up, and the pageant started poaching the Pops bands like Ace Frehley and King Diamond and Slayer, and then about 5 years ago, a place called the Factory opened. Now the Factory is poaching the pageants bands. The problem with the Factory is it's 30 miles west, and yep, I am skipping King Diamond because he's playing at the Factory. Because
you talked about that already, yeah.
I just don't want to drive 30 miles. I mean, driving 30 miles west to go to a concert, have a couple of beers, and then drive home. No, play in a good place. All right, give me a pause. Let me go grab that record.
Now I shall pause so you can get the record and we don't have to all see your junk in your bum.
All right, we are back because my unprofessionalism has raised its ugly head yet again. So here is what we are talking about this week. You may notice all this glare business. It's because, like a proper vinyl guy, I have already put it in the outer sleeve. And the record itself is already in the mylar inner sleeve. I actually had to buy more inners and outers last week because I ran out. I'm rehoming every single record into an outer sleeve, so I recommend that to everyone as well. We actually have never discussed that on one of our vinyl tips, so we need to do an updated vinyl tips chaser soon.
Maybe the next chaser, we'll find out.
But here is the record itself. This is the Amazon.com exclusive. It is translucent seafoam. What do you think of that? Is that a good looking? I think that's a pretty good looking.
Can you back it up a little from the light? Because I can't tell. I don't see seafoam at all.
I don't see seafoam either, but it's
I see like
it's a very dark
green.
translucent teal.
Okay, it's pretty. Yeah, it just looks like black that close, but all good, all good. Did it come
I
in
only
any
give you
goodies?
what I can. And then on the inside, where is it? Because now I do this, and I haven't figured out exactly what the hell's wrong with me. I save my hype stickers. This says the new album from David Gilmour featuring The Piper's Call Between 2 Points. Dark and Velvet Nights, exclusive translucent sea blue vinyl. So not seafoam, sea blue, I apologize.
Yeah, seafoam is a green specifically, so I knew.
It's greenish. It's like a blue green or green blue.
Like algae.
Correct, like algae. The cover itself. Sorry, I'm trying to get a good picture of this where you can see it around the microphone and not my head. I assume that is David at the top. He is over seafoamy business, going into a waterfall. Nope, that is not David. Whoever the hell that is has hair.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely
And
not David.
I'm just going to point out right now, David Gilmour looks like a very skinny version of my stepfather in his latter days. He looks like my stepfather at 65. But David Gilmour's almost 80, so that's really good. I mean, same teeth and everything. It's like crazy. Back cover, you may notice that David is old. And much like when we discussed Metallica 72 Seasons, I like the fact that they didn't do an airbrushed business photo. They gave us a real photo of who he is now. And I hate it when artists put photos of themselves from years past on their records. Look, it's an honor and a privilege to grow old, whether or not we do it gracefully, unambitiously, like this. I would call this growing old unambitiously, or whatever. Growing old is a privilege that not everybody in human history has been afforded. Probably only about 10% of the entire human population has been afforded this. So enjoy it, celebrate it.
In the words of a famous comedian, most everyone that has ever lived is already dead. A long time.
Correct. It's like
By the
being
way,
in Colma, California, where the dead outnumber the living, and all them vampires. Was that Colma, or did I dream that? I can't remember the name of the city in Lost Boys.
I don't think it's Colma, but you're not wrong.
Well, Colma is
One thing I
Buckethead.
could never stand about this town
All the
is all them
goddamn
damn
vampires.
Love
You know
that
what?
guy. Love that
Blow, Sax man. You and your chain and your sexy abs and your oiled up pecs and I'm sorry, what? What were we talking about? Was it Dave Navarro?
I'm talking about Kiefer Sutherland.
No,
Dave
the sax
Navarro.
man. You don't remember the
Dave
sax
Navarro.
man?
Yes, we've talked about the sax man before.
No, not Power Mullet, like sax man from Lost Boys. We talked about
yes,
him.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
I'm asking
Speaking
questions
of-
because I don't remember.
Speaking of this photo of David, shades of Metallica in the inner sleeves of the 72 Seasons album, where they look as old as they are.
That's
and
what I
you
said.
You were mentioning how old Sammy Hagar is, and then somebody shared a photo that they took of him live recently, and I was like, he really is very old.
Is he? I mean, because he doesn't like. He does the Bob Dylan hair,
He's aged
And then he-
very badly.
and he wears giant shades,
Yes.
and he has a beard. He has a huge beard now. So basically, the only skin of him you get when you're seeing him on stage is just like these bones right here.
Yeah, if you've ever seen a dog or a cat that's been shaved down for a surgery, that's what Sammy Hagar's skin looks like. Very scary.
You know what? He's in his 70s. I'm going to let it pass. Now,
I'm not-
this
I'm
record.
not casting judgment. I mean, his music sucks and he sucks. I'm not casting judgment on how he
Oh,
looks.
you're not casting judgment. Give me a second while I judge everything real quick. Okay, fair enough. May I continue uninterrupted? You tell somebody you're the Metatron and they stare at you blankly. You mentioned that out of a Charlton Heston movie, and suddenly everybody's a theology scholar. May I continue
May I
uninterrupted?
Yes.
There's a gatefold. Hang on, I don't know what's in there. More David. The Black Strat is there. What do we know about the Black Strat right now?
I thought he sold it.
He did sell it. That is probably not the actual Black Strat. That is probably one of the Fender reproductions, because a lot of the dudes that have very historically significant guitars like that, they get reproductions made. Then they sell them sometimes they don't. Speaking of reproductions, Epiphone is selling a reproduction of the Jimi Hendrix Painted Flying V. And I have to be honest, I'm really excited about that. That's my favorite guitar of his. There is also a significant inner booklet, all the lyrics and whatnot, written by famed novelist Polly Sampson, every Keefy's favorite. And there is great grandpa Dave. There is Dave with whatever the hell kind of guitar that thing is. I don't even know. It looks like it's a guitar on a coconut. It's like, oh, let's turn that coconut into an electric guitar. All right then. More business and then more. Can I mention the evil one?
Roger?
Yes. May I?
Briefly, please, not for a long length of time. I don't want to talk about him.
This album comes out on September 4th. What is September 4th?
Roger's birthday.
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday, Roger. I think that's a coincidence. That wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, look at all this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, just a coincidence. Oi, Roger, why don't you re-record that record we did together and get rid of all the business I did? And I'm going to put out a record rephrasing that record with all the business I did and more. You like dogs, Roger? I'm going to do some dogs. That is not a very, very good David Gilmour accent. You're on mute, sir.
I'm just talking to myself over here, what I do best. Yeah, I think it's a coincidence. It's not on purpose. And I think the tour had to be a certain time. And I'll talk about why at the end of the episode. The tour had to happen a certain way. So the record is timed to release before the tour. It has nothing to do with Roger's birthday. I guarantee it. I don't even think he thinks about Roger and his birthday. He said that I can't wait to sell the catalog off.
Yeah,
so
we
I
need to
never
talk
have
about that.
So I never have to talk to him or about him ever again.
Well, the thing about that is, right now, for anything not the wall, actually, and the wall too, to do anything, they need Roger's approval. You need all three of them to vote yes. That's why it took 17 years to get, the Animals 2018. That's why we got it in 2022. Or was it 3? Might have been 3. I don't remember. But yeah, so and then the wall, they have to completely go to him, and he's the only vote. So yeah, David says, talked about, I cannot wait to sell this, and I'll never have to talk to Roger again. You know what? I feel you, bro. Because Roger was both your ticket to stardom and the stone that's dragged you down for decades. God, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, so we are a few months away from the 45th anniversary of the wall, which means 50 is around the corner. Would be the opportune time to do a box set or remaster. Anything.
Just give me, is anybody out there on vinyl? God damn it!
I don't know if these guys are gonna even. Nick might not even be here by then. I hate to be like that, but these guys are getting very old, very quickly, even in good health. With
Roger's 80. David is like 78. I assume Nick's about 80 because he's around the same age as Roger.
The same age as Roger, yeah, 82, 82. Interestingly enough, David gave his blessing to Nick. He's like, I really love what Nick is doing. He's entitled to do it as long as he wants. I don't know how I would feel about him doing anything else from the Floyd, but if he wants to do that, I saw one show and I approved. I like what I saw.
Well, I feel like the 3 surviving members are each doing something different with the Floyd. You have Nick, who is reviving the early days. You have David, who's just skimming off the top. And then you have Roger, who's full-fledged. Remember, I'm the guy that did Pink Floyd. I'm Pink. I'm Pink. I'm Pink. And yeah, I mean, it would be nice if they all were doing new music. I would much rather have new music than heritage tours. I think I'm very much on record with that. Let me say, before we get too deep into all of this, it's a wonderful day for myself, and I'm sure for my good friend Keefy, when we get a Pink Floyd release. The family is very small. There have been 5 official members of Pink Floyd. 2 of them have passed on. We're going to get no more from Sid. We're going to get no more from Rick. And in the past 4 years, the getting has been good.
No more after Luck and Strange. We're not going to get any more from Rick because Rick is on this album.
Spoiler alert, Keefy.
Well, I didn't know if you knew. I didn't know until today.
I didn't know till I knew when I heard it the first time. I could tell. No, I mean, I totally couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell at all because David plays just like Rick. Whenever David plays piano, he's literally channeling his best friend.
Bingo. So, but in the past,
it is a good day.
In the past several years, we have gotten 3 live records. We have gotten Roger's live album. We got an expanded edition of Delicate Son of Thunder. We got Nick's live record, Live at the Roundhouse. We have gotten 3 studio records. We have gotten Luck and Strange that we're talking about today. We have gotten Dark Side of the Moon Redux, which I still have not listened to. We also got the Lockdown Sessions.
We didn't listen to and review the Pink Floyd Dark Side redo. We totally did.
No. I forgot about that. 4 live records. That is the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon live. We did do that one.
And Animals.
I wasn't done, Keefy.
All right, go ahead. God.
And then yes, we also got Animals 2018. So, and we have reviewed a lot of this because the podcast was going on during those times, and we love this. So, I mean, think about that. We've gotten 4 live records, and we've gotten, I guess, 4 studio records in the past 4 years. That's pretty amazing for a band that's not really a going concern, and these guys are getting up there. Roger is threatening to release a new record on us called The Bar. I am excited about that. I still have not listened to his version of Dark Side of the Moon Redux. I have no interest in that. I could not get through a single song, and I am the Roger Stan on this podcast, so that'll be the last we discuss Roger today.
You
Probably
are
for a
one of
while.
the few Roger Stans left in the world, sir, because he is.
Look, I choose to believe that he is a senile old man and he doesn't know what he's saying, because that makes me feel better. Just like I choose to believe that Philip is still the guy that wrote No Good Attack the Radical.
He is still that guy.
Okay, fair enough. Just like Roger is just senile. He's just completely senile and gone crazy.
Somehow Roger is worse than Philip. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how it's possible.
You found a way.
We found a way. We found a way to do it. Yeah, I think it's no secret. Pink Floyd's my favorite band of all time. David Gilmour's my favorite artist of all time. Any stripe, any talent, any musician, any position, he is my number one of one. He's my first draft pick if I was making a band for life, for history. It doesn't matter what genre. I would pick David Gilmour first. And his influence is incalculable. Pink Floyd's influence is incalculable. They're still being ripped off, copied, parodied, imitated.
Coheed and Cambria, anybody?
Today.
I mean, I'm sorry, what?
I mean, whatever. I think Coheed and Cambria is more about Rush and
Wax
early
Fang, anybody?
Metallica.
Wax Fang, the astronaut?
There's plenty of bands.
I know. I'm just like, but if you've ever heard Wax Fang, the astronaut, that is totally them redoing "Wish You Were Here."
There's even Zakk Wylde. Black Label Society has the final track on the Blessed Hell Ride, arguably the best Black Label Society record still. And there's a song called Dead Meadow, and it's literally Breathe. It's the same chord progression. It's played the same on the piano, which is Rick Wright lifted from Round Midnight by, now it's going to escape me. God damn it. Thelonious Monk, Round Midnight. One of the most influential jazz pianists ever and artists. And, but like, it's a good song. Like, it's a good song. Even the guitar part sounds like something Gilmour would do. Like, it's like there's no way. If you start making these chords, if you start playing this way, if you start doing Pink Floyd things, the rest of the song just becomes a Pink Floyd song. Like, you can't help it. And maybe not the singing, because Zakk is Zakk, but these things find their way into everything. And it's no surprise that Oasis is coming back. They also infamously lifted things from all their favorite bands, including Pink Floyd, although they were more interested in the Sid era Floyd than anything else.
Everything you've said is completely 100% accurate. Pink Floyd cannot be understated. A friend of mine asked me recently about, my friend Mike asked me about how many times I've seen them and seen the people. I have never seen them, and I have never seen a single person. I have major regrets on passing on a lot of them. Pink Floyd to me is a lot like Van Halen in they had their going concern era and then they stopped. They took a break, a significant break in the 80s, about 4 years. And I wasn't old enough to go to shows yet. I was only 11. I was only 11 years old on the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour. And then they come back years later, and they did not come to St. Louis. They came to Kansas City. So I didn't see them, and David Gilmour has never played St. Louis solo. Nick Mason and Roger Waters have both played. I had tickets to the second Nick Mason show, which was canceled, as we discussed, which is why we did an episode on the Roundhouse a couple of years ago. And I did not buy tickets to Roger's last stop here, which was the Us and Them tour, because I didn't like Animals enough. And only 6 months after that did I really come to understand how amazing Animals is, and I felt like a dick. So it wasn't The Wall, so I didn't go. And The Wall is still my favorite. The Wall is still... And the thing about The Wall, I'm going to segue into David with that. The Wall would never be The Wall without David. David's voice, David's guitar is what made that album beautiful. It is disgustingly ugly, and it's uncomfortable. It is the story of anxiety. It is the story of a man falling apart. And David takes the edge off the glass. If you had the full glass cut, it's not as good, I don't think. And let's briefly discuss the David Gilmour discography. This is his 5th solo record. His first came out in 1978, I believe, which was self-titled, which I have on vinyl because I'm that guy. And that actually was, he recorded the songs from the band that he was in when he was pulled up to Pink Floyd with that band, which is like one of the most amazing things I've ever heard. He comes back a few years later during the Pink Floyd hiatus, during the lawsuit era, and he does About Face, which is a very 80s kind of squiffy record. If he went back and recorded it now, it would probably be a pretty damn good record. However, David with the bomber jacket is not necessary, period. Then he goes back to Pink Floyd and they do the Momentary Lapse. A Reason tour with Power Mullet Scott, who was the saxophone player on that tour, and followed me on Twitter at one point. Clearly he never listened to this podcast, hearing me talk about him as Power Mullet.
Scott Page.
Scott Page, thank you. I could not remember his last name. Spectacular gentleman, a wonderful human being, and a wonderful sax player, and a mullet to kill for. A mullet that probably has killed people. It is that strong of a mullet. Then everybody takes a break in Pink Floyd. They come back, they do Division Bell, which is a divisive record. I would say both of the non-Roger records are pretty divisive, quite frankly. I enjoy them both. I'm not sure which one I like better. I'm leaning towards the Division Bell now that I have lived with it for a number of years, and I am getting over the nostalgia I had of A Momentary Lapse of Reason. And they do that tour, and David goes silent until 2006-ish, when he comes back with On an Island. Now, On an Island, I think, is a wonderful record. It's more David than it is Polly. The lyrics are very mellow, they are very short, and we get these wonderful ethereal patterns. Spectacular.
I'm going to weigh in and say that
What?
I think On an Island is David's best solo record, and it easily could have been a Pink Floyd record if with a little more...
That's the only thing he did without Roger that could have been a Pink Floyd record. You put Roger on there, yeah, it's Pink Floyd.
Fair, very fair, and it's a great record on its own, like just
Okay,
by itself. No. It doesn't need.
I'm sorry, I was not disparaging it. I'm just saying that
not at all. I'm putting it out there that it doesn't need to be. It didn't need to be a Pink Floyd record. Like, I understand why David made that record at that time, but it's the most Pink Floyd of any of David's solo stuff, including
everything you've said right now is absolutely 100% correct. It is a wonderful record. It is my favorite David Gilmour record as well, so far. Maybe. And yes, when you said maybe we go back and
maybe we go back and do it for a chaser.
I'm happy to do it.
Does it have an anniversary? Do we have an anniversary coming up? We could pick it in there for.
Like 22 coming up. 22's coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe 18. I don't know. I think it's 06-ish because Rick was on that tour. It was his last tour. But yes, I love On an Island. It's got the etherealness of Pink Floyd, but it doesn't have, what did I just do? It doesn't have the anger of Pink Floyd. It's got the beauty without the anger. And that was always...
Because it doesn't have Roger, because Roger's bitter fuck.
Correct. Exactly correct. That's why those two work together.
Everybody treated me wrong.
That's why those two work together so well, because if you get them both, you have a perfect neutral solution. You remove David, and it's an acid. You remove Roger, it's a base.
Officially, On an Island came out the 6th of March, if I was British, 2006. So, like,
all right, so 18
hang around like another
6 months, we're going to have the 19th anniversary. It'd be awesome. Not 19th, we're doing it for 19th anniversary. So, then he does Live at Gdansk with Rick Wright, the last released by Rick Wright, and I believe Rick is on that album. Don't quote me, and which I find interesting because that's basically half of Pink Floyd, and could have been, and that's another reason probably why it's Floydian is because I believe it had Rick. I'm like almost 100% sure it had Rick, and
it had Rick, and Rick died the week before it came out. Brutal.
He toured behind it.
He was on the tour, and then he died. So
the album came out after the tour. No, yes. Rick died in 08.
Yes, and Live and Get Danced came out in '08.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about. My apologies. I
Live and
misunderstood.
Get Danced, not on an island.
Okay, is Rick on an island?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm talking about right now.
Oh wait, he is.
Okay, I thought he was because he was in all the business. So that's I think part of why it sounds Pink Floydian, and it's because it's half of them.
He's performing. He's not credited as a writer. Actually, I love that. It's like all music written by David Gilmour. It's like,
well, it is a solo record. The publishing is where the money is.
Was the cowbell on there? David played it. Was there a triangle with Ed Grimley? David played it.
Well, at least he wrote it. So yes,
Feed
and
this
then
masterpiece from the bowels of hell.
Live at Dance is an interesting
Slacks.
record. May I?
You may. Sorry.
We need to move this train along. We're piddling. Live at Dance, great record. I want it on vinyl. It is 5 discs, which is the longest live record I'm aware of. Presently $400 on Discogs. Next, he does Rattle That Lock, and that is the one I don't have. I don't have it. And frankly, I don't think it's very good. And yeah, then after that, he releases the live album Live at Pompeii, which is phenomenal. It is a perfect mix of David Gilmour solo work and Pink Floyd work. Unfortunately, it does feature Run Like Hell because apparently you cannot release a Pink Floyd or related solo record without Run Like Hell, whatever the fuck your name is, unless it's Nick Mason. Nick Mason knows to stay away. No one else does. Everyone else, stop it. We've heard enough of Run Like Hell. The song is not that good. I know why David does it, because he has a credit. So he gets to like play it, and Roger's got to like smoke that money and be like, yeah, bloody money.
Can I confess something to you?
Oh my God, what?
When I had my Pink Floyd tribute band, Pigs on the Wing, my favorite song to play was Run Like Hell. Tune the bass down a whole step.
That's fine.
Deep.
It can be your favorite, but it is not my favorite to hear. Pink Floyd, it's like Metallica Seek and Destroy, man. There's only so many times you can slap me in the face with the cold dead fish that is either Seek and Destroy or Run Like Hell. And they have done that. So, moving on away from things that do not include Run Like Hell, let's get to the meat of the day. Good Lord.
Rattle That Lock is not a good album. It's not that
No,
good.
it's a bad.
Okay.
It's a bad
lyrics
record.
Lyrics are the worst ever, and this isn't much better. I'm gonna just throw it out there already.
Wait, this has lyrics?
Throwing boiling water on this already.
Wait, this has record. I just thought it had like scat, like man, looking spipers. I don't know. I mean, I can't sing like a bird like David. So real quick, this is a single record and a gatefold. No, you are ruining the earth. 2, the cover is amazing. 3, it is a family affair because we have Romani Gilmour doing vocals on one, playing harp on others. And then, of course, you have Polly writing David's lyrics because lyricism is not in David's repertoire. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not complaining about that. And then, of course, you have David writing the vast, vast majority of the music.
There are 2 other Gilmours on this record as well.
How many Gilmours are there? Like 80?
He has
an Irish
8
Catholic
children.
family?
He has 8 children between
Holy
all his
crap. Well, I know like
marriages.
some of his children were born like in the 90s.
With Polly. So Romani is the famous meme girl with the guitar. You're trying to learn to play guitar. But
Oh, man, I love that meme. That is a great meme.
She actually has quite a good voice. We'll talk about it in a second. Gabriel Gilmour is on backing vocals on tracks 3 and 4. And Charlie Gilmour, who also co-wrote some lyrics to the final song with Polly and David. David has some lyrical writing
Oh, I
credits,
see
but
that now.
scattered. I just don't know. Polly is not a great lyricist at all.
No,
Even
she's
her
not.
even her
She
best
no,
work
you know
is-
what? I take that back. She is an amazing lyricist in what I
Oh
have
my
paid
God.
attention to. However, the issue is it's like, look, if I take you to the best steakhouse, what do you want? You want steak.
I want shrimp cocktail.
There you go. Polly Sampson is the shrimp cocktail of lyricists at a steakhouse. Because when you get David Gilmour, Look, you and I have talked. We are friends. We have been there. We have gone through this whole goddamn catalog on multiple podcasts here and there. And we both agree, though our favorite member is not the same dude, it's just like Ace Frehley and Kiss, right? Ace Frehley's best work was in Kiss. Kiss's best work was with Ace Frehley. David Gilmour's best work is not this record. It's not any record he did without Roger. Roger, his best work is that 4-album run. The greatest 4-album run of all time. It's fact.
Well,
you can't.
That's gonna be a podcast for another time, but I wouldn't even say 5 because I think metal is fucking amazing. But
I'm being
I'm
being non-controversial.
I am a noted Polly hater.
That's fine. And
she has
the thing is,
brilliance. Her moments of brilliance. Division Bell.
Yeah, completely.
Like majority of Division Bell is good to excellent. Some of it's flat, and there's also 2 instrumentals. Okay, good for her.
Great lyrics on those.
Rattle That Lock, terrible. Mostly terrible lyrics. This album, so.
Reasonable.
Good topics, very prosaic, boring shit. When he
hired
a poet in the 80s to do why does Momentary Lapse of Reason sound so great and why is it so meaningful and deep? Because a poet wrote it, not his wife, the author, the fantasy author.
The thing is, and when it comes to the I guess now 7 records David Gilmour has done without Roger Waters, Pink Floyd is Star Trek. It is angry, it is progressive, and it yearns for a better day. David Gilmour's work without Roger Waters does not. And that's fine. That is not a complaint. It's just different. When Ace Frehley drops Second Sighting, it's a synth record. Nobody want that. Who the hell asked for that? No, we wanted Deuce. And what did we get? Whatever the hell that thing is. So when we get the Pink Floyd family not doing Pink Floyd-y music, there's a disconnect. Because when I think of David Gilmour, I don't think of Rattle That Lock. I don't think of the 1978 eponymous solo record. I'm sure as hell not thinking about Face. Fuck Rattle That Lock in its asshole. Peg that sumbitch like on Disney. I'm thinking about Comfortably Numb. I'm thinking about Wish You Were Here. I'm thinking about Dark Side of the Moon. I'm thinking about Metal. I'm thinking about the Narrow Way.
Echoes,
I said what I said. Yeah, exactly. So it creates an odd disconnect. And I am very famously fickle when it comes to solo records. When Peter Criss does a solo record, releasing the music he's always wanted to do that he couldn't get out in Kiss, it pisses me off because I don't want that. When Roger Waters creates a solo record that sounds exactly like Pink Floyd, when you've got a dude aping David Gilmour, when you've got a dude aping Rick Wright, I'm happy because that's exactly what I want. When you have Ace Frehley doing modern-ass records in the 80s, not Second Sighting, but the one before that, I'm very happy because he's finally getting that stuff out that he always wanted to do. So how I feel about a solo record is largely influenced by how I feel about the songs. If I don't like the songs, I'm going to come up with a reason to dislike it. Like, oh, Peter should have done songs like Kiss. Okay, whatever. But when David does solo records, he expounds on what he did in Pink Floyd. You know, when we discussed On an Island, it's ethereal. Imagine, if you've never heard that record, imagine the amazing, beautiful solos from that run, from that 4-album run. And then imagine nobody telling him to stop.
And also the songs themselves, the songwriting,
yeah.
You know.
And that's On an Island. That is Roger, On an Island is Pink Floyd based around David and his guitar rather than around Roger and his ideas.
Yeah, I'll say something nice about Roger. I'll say he's an underrated bassist, actually quite an excellent bassist that probably was overshadowed by everybody else in the band for his time. Doesn't get enough credit for the bass lines he did, even though my favorite Pink Floyd bass line is Hey You, which was played and written by Gilmour. And In Your Eye. But also David's writing.
Feel
David's
better.
Just David's touch, David's song craft, his attention to detail, his recording prowess, even before he was in Pink Floyd. If he's not in Pink, you put any other guitar player in Pink Floyd, it's not Pink Floyd.
Agreed. And I
don't know that any other songwriter could necessarily be Roger either. Although just basically without David and Rick and Nick, Roger is a frustrated folkie who can play progressive rock on the bass. That's like really it.
Hey, he did one amazing Pink Floyd record without him that he talks badly about now, that he says he didn't write, and the Radiohead producer wrote for him. And let me say, thank you, Radiohead producer, for making Roger Waters focus.
Which one is this?
Is This the Life We Really Want? He does not speak fondly of it because he says it's not my record, it's his record.
Yeah, it's not a good record.
It's an amazing record. I love that record.
Yeah, you love it alone, by yourself.
I'm not alone. There's at least 15 of us. Anyway, what made Pink Floyd great was the mix of the people. You had David Gilmour, and you have gotten on me for saying this in the past. David Gilmour, he may not have gotten credits. He may not have gotten writing credits for Pink Floyd. However, he turned in some amazing songs. Fat Old Son is brilliant. And Roger was the creative vision, but David Gilmour is what made that what we remember.
Were you listening to Ummagumma today?
I listened to Ummagumma yesterday.
Oh, okay. It was on your Instagram or your threads. I have one random question for you before we do the track listing, right?
Please do. 8 inches.
David, that's not what I was going to ask. Jesus Christ. David Gilmour said this is his favorite record he's made beside Dark Side of the Moon. Some of his favorite material.
Okay.
This record. I don't know that I can agree with that, having listened.
Okay, Roger Waters says when he's promoting the live record he did in 1999, is there anybody out there, whatever the hell that fucking thing was called, In the Flesh. And he says, I've been involved in 3 great records, Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, and Amused to Death. And to really understand, you've got to have the set. Okay, nobody but me thinks Amused to Death was a great record. Most people think it was a bloated, bloviating kind of pile of crap. Lars Ulrich talked about the amazing things that Saint Anger was. Nobody believes Saint Anger was great. I'm an apologist for Saint Anger, and I won't listen to it. I do not listen to contemporary statements made by artists regarding their newest album. How many times did we hear Kiss say, this record is the Son of Destroyer? About 50 times. So no, I will not speak to that because that is PR bullshit. You ready to track it?
Let us go with the track listing, sir.
Step 1, ripping off Janet Jackson, Black Cat. Oh, come on, that's funny. That's funny.
Not remotely funny.
It's extraordinary. No, you know why it's not funny? Because Janet Jackson's Black Cat was amazing.
Crowbot has a really good cover of that, by the way.
Who does?
Crowbot.
Really? What record?
A year ago. It's a single, heavy metal, just a heavy metal version of Black Cat. It's great.
They didn't put it on a record? Because I have their last one. I got the last couple.
It's a single that came out.
Love. You know what? Crowbot is a band that is totally not hit fishing that we should do a run on.
Sure.
Because I love them. I mean, I would have, ropes and ropes.
New record out Friday.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Okay, so Black Cat, instrumental. I mean, how many times? David Gilmour's records always have a 90-second instrumental that is completely unnecessary. Thoughts?
Yeah, completely agree. David on piano does nothing for me to set the table for this album. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't even set.
I needed an instrumental to start with first. That's this whole thing. It's not meaningful. It doesn't help. It's, I know he's just doing what he knows, but it's just not. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Metallica. When Metallica did the same album like 4 times in a row, Like how Pink Floyd did the same album like 5 times in a row. It is what it is. Moving on to Luck and Strange, the title track, which is probably my favorite song on the album. I heard a couple of people say that there were shades of dogs in this. And when I was listening back today for the fourth or fifth time, I heard it. It wasn't like, it was shades of dogs. It was hints of dogs. And being the longest song second longest song, it checks out. Good song.
Yeah, I think it's very good. I was trying to understand why this would be the title track, just on its own, but apparently this whole album is about aging and mortality and coming to terms that you're getting older and your time is getting shorter.
That's what they say.
Dark Side of the Moon. Supposedly the phrase "luck and strange" has to do with luck, life, a long life. What your life is. It's I wouldn't say it's in the top 3 or 4 tracks on the record. I don't think it's my favorite, which is rare. But yeah, it's good. I don't know that it's great. I do hear the dogs thing. I think the tempo and some of the chord movements remind me of the middle long instrumental section of Dogs between the two.
Yeah, there's like a part where you have the cadence of dogs, and that's what I remembered. Moving on to The Piper's Call, which was the original single. When I first heard this song, I thought it was absolutely amazing. Still feel that way. Great song, great way to hook somebody into your new record. And the fact that all of this came out like kind of, they trickle-truthed us, and then all of a sudden, oh, boop, single. Just like Metallica did. And that is the smart way to do your drops if you haven't planned it forever.
Yeah, I think this is a great track. Probably one of, again, top 3, top 4 on the whole album. Fantastic guitar stuff. It's hard to get a grasp on who's playing what because he has such an expansive group of artists on this album. Yeah. We didn't talk about it. Rick Wright's electric piano and Hammond organ are on Luck and Strange. That is apparently Rick.
Yes, that is correct.
Back in 2007, some tapes that David had.
From his barn, dude has a house, a mansion, a boat, and a barn. Save something for the rest of us, David.
Well, he's got 8 kids. He's got to leave something to each one of them.
Okay, touche.
But yeah, so Rick is on Luck and Strange. Piper's Call, I was going to say, I do like the rhythms on Piper's Call. So the Guy Pratt on bass. Interestingly enough, Adam Betts from 3 Trapped Tigers is on this record. He a British progressive rock band that's kind of youngish, maybe last 15 years. Steve Gadd. This is Steve Gadd's first appearance, Piper's Call. Steve Gadd is one of the most legendary drummers of all time. He's on Steely Dan Aja. He played with Paul Simon. He's played in a million sessions. He's in the Drum Hall of Fame, so he's the drummer on this. I actually like the drums on the Piper's Call too. Like it's a little more rhythmic. Nothing on here I would term as fast or rockin', but it's a little more up tempo, slightly above mid tempo.
Slightly.
Slightly. This whole record kind of plods. What do you think?
It's an ethereal plotting. It's a mood plot. Moving on to the one song. I'm sorry. A single spark. I don't remember this one. That's kind of like the thing about this album is that there are gaps in memory.
Yeah, this song is just okay. Also, Gabriel Gilmour's backing vocals are on tracks 3 and 4, and it seems just okay. Again, it's the same.
It fills the space nicely.
A lot of repeated tempos and
filler plus.
Not overexcited. I don't want to say filler. I don't think anything on here is filler.
Filler plus.
Yeah, I guess. I still don't like the word filler unless you mean.
I know.
Filler.
I know you don't like it. I love it. We're in the soft underbelly of side 1. I mean, it fits.
That's true.
Moving on to Vita Brevis. Okay. Another 46-second instrumental that no one asked for. And if it wasn't here, no one would care.
Yeah, are you familiar with the Latin phrase, ars longa vita brevis? Perhaps not.
I know no Latin whatsoever except voir dire. Oh, and VDVDV.
And habeas corpus. I'm sure you're married to a lawyer, right?
Well, yeah. Well, voir dire is also lawyer stuff.
Yeah, I know. So Ars Longa Vita Brevis. Vita Brevis is the second part of this, which is sort of a common quotation that says art is long, life is short, or it takes a very long time to learn a craft that even a lifetime is not enough. This is an exceptional, like, parallel to Gilmour, right? He's a guy who, his perfectionism, his pursuit of perfectionism as a guitarist, it hasn't ended yet because he's still doing it, right? That's his. I think that's even if the track is a throwaway, the meaning of the title is extremely poignant to David, probably. And if you're a fan
Totally fair. Totally fair.
So, yeah, but otherwise, I would throw this track away. Out the door.
The thing about
Off
this
the
record,
boat.
this whole record is, I don't think I'm speaking for myself. I think I'm speaking for all of us when I say, David Gilmour sold all of his guitars 2 years ago. I thought it was done. I thought it was over. I thought that was it. He was like, you know what? Getting rid of this, moving on. No, we flip the record, and we get between 2 points the one song David Gilmour has no writing credits on. It is a Montgolfier Brothers track. Not familiar with it. They are a Britpop dream duo, significant because Romani Gilmour is singing lead on this and does a very good job, quite wonderful job. And you know what? Great song, great way to start off side 2. No notes.
Yeah, again, this would be one of the top songs on the record. I'm not quite sure if it's a cover or if it's just a song they wrote for him.
It is a cover. It is a cover.
Is it? Okay, because I'm not familiar with the band that Mark comes from. And
Same, totally same.
I think Romani's got a really good voice. Interestingly enough, she sings kind of similar to her dad, with these very rounded notes and like a lot of sustain.
If you grew up listening to him and you fashioned yourself as a singer, wouldn't you?
Well, I would try to do something.
Yeah.
I would try to not be.
I would try to totally be like him.
No, I wouldn't. But because you can't gild the lily, as the Brits say. I do think she's quite good, and I like her backing vocals even more than her lead vocal here. But her lead vocal here is good. I like to hear her do something with different material. And I can't tell what her range is or how expressive she can be because it's pretty. She's doing a cover, so clearly whatever they did in the original, she's doing. But so I don't want to hang that on her. But for a young person, you judge a younger person's talent slowly. I think she's in her early 20s, right? I'm not quite sure. She doesn't have a.
I mean,
entry.
They didn't get married until like 97 or 8.
No, 90.
They were not married on the tour.
Okay.
She was still girlfriend on the tour.
He went on tour. Oh, maybe.
According to a documentary I saw with what he said.
I'm not trying to do her 23andMe here. I'm just trying to figure out.
Okay, let's just assume she's 23-ish.
Okay, yeah.
So still very young. I mean, if I were 23, I'd feel a whole lot better than I do now at 48. But I think we can agree we got a taste of Romani Gilmour, and we will wait to see going forward what we get. My moving on into Dark and Velvet Nights.
Nick doesn't care when my birthday is. He doesn't care at all. Go ahead.
When is your birthday, Keefy? Tell everybody.
Tuesday.
Oh, you know what? Facebook will also tell me, and then I'll give you a happy birthday cake on Facebook.
Great.
I know.
Stick it right in here.
Look, I let you sleep on my couch.
That's true.
I made you a steak.
You did. It was great. And some shrimp.
Oh,
we watched hockey together. That was great. We watched Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is in the movies also next week.
Oh, fuck you. Is it?
Tell Lawyer Wife. Yep.
Oh, crap. Don't tell Lawyer Wife. What's going on next weekend? Oh, I got plans on Saturday. Oh, we got plans on Sunday.
During the week.
Oh, good. I got plans. I got plans like a lot of the week. I got 2 concerts during the week. Anyway, moving on to Dark and Velvet Nights. Again, we have filler. We're soft underbelly.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, it's true. I'm going to say the same for the next track, too. So you say what you want about these two.
Oh, well, I think Dark and Velvet Nights is arguably one of the best songs on the record. Surely the best guitar playing, the best guitar solo on the record. Maybe you need to go back and re-listen to it and calibrate your fucking ears because it's a great song. It's actually got the best lyrics, by the way, of the album.
Again, I did not pay attention to any of the lyrics, like literally none of them.
I can't help it. I'm a lyricist and a vocalist and a writer.
The vocals are down. They're not in the front. They're with the guitar. They're not in front of the guitar.
Back. I have some follow-up thoughts about.
It's in doubly. I can't hear the lyrics. It's mixed in doubly. The vocals need to be higher.
Please stop.
No.
I apologize to all people, Anglos everywhere. I'm sorry. Dark and Velvet Night's actually a good track. Go back and re-listen to it. Sings is the filler song. It's not great. It's just there. But I like Dark and Velvet Nights quite a bit. I think actually like side 2 is a little bit better than side 1. But
interesting. Moving on into Scattered, we have the Long Windy Boy. And you know what? If you don't get a Long Windy from one of these dudes in Pink Floyd, did they even get to the records? Do they even go to the studio? And I'm assuming this was recorded on the boat. If it's not, then I'm burning it down.
They barely did the boat. They mostly did 2 studio places with a little bit on the boat. And it's, they couldn't put everybody on the boat. I think those press photos on the boat were a lie.
I just like
the band was not assembled in the boat.
I just love the boat. I love the boat idea that he's got this little teeny tiny studio on this little teeny tiny yacht, and I mean it's just adorable.
Teeny tiny. It's not teeny tiny.
It looks teeny tiny when you got 18 people in that room.
It's not that small.
I know it's not small. It's a literal yacht.
2 Gilmours and a Samson on the lyrics on Scattered. David Gilmour, Charlie Gilmour, and Polly. I do feel like the end of echoes a little bit on this song, as well as the Shine On You Crazy Diamond Part 9 a little bit. In the past, David has said Wish You Were Here was his favorite record ever that he worked on. It's quite a good ending to the record. It does kind of lift it up a little bit at the end.
What I love about this album, for me, is it's very reminiscent of Dark Side of the Moon of the Wall, where it's not a series of tracks where it is a chunk. It is a singular song. So when I say these things are filler's not the right word. The right word is segue. And if you asked me to go through track by track of On an Island right now, I would tell you a lot of the same things I told you today. Except that I like the lyrics being smaller on an island. They're not as, these are very long-winded, very lyrical songs as opposed to, like Shine On You Crazy Diamond, which you referenced a moment ago. Really, what has I got, about 15 lines in all 9 parts of that song? And that's the right amount of lines. It's perfect that way. And I feel like his solo work, when he goes more ethereal, more angelic, I feel like it works better with less lyrics rather than more. And I think that's probably why I'm checking out a little bit. I remember, the choruses. I remember the strong, Luck and Strange, Piper's Call. I remember those parts. But the verses, it really didn't stick. But so far, right now, if I am going to tier rank the David Gilmour solo records, I'm not doing that?
No, can you wait? Because I didn't even have a chance to say anything else about the album.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nick's just going to finish the episode by himself, and I'm going to go fuck off to the corner. Man.
We don't curse on this show.
You cursed on my podcast. I'll curse on yours.
Fair.
No. It's weird. This record kind of feels like an old man's record. I don't hear a lot of rockin' on here. I don't hear, there's not one up-tempo rockin' song. It's very contemplative and sad. Is he okay? Can we check on David and make sure he's got plenty of money and his wife and a bunch of kids, but is he all right? Because, it seems like a very sad guy's right. He didn't write the lyrics, but it seems like a very sad guy's record. Music's, mostly good. Not the best thing he's ever done, but certainly, worth waiting for. I think some of it's very exciting. I would like to hear some of these live, not all of them, probably. And then he said a very interesting thing just recently, which is that he got rid of a lot of his touring band for all new people, I think, except Guy. Except Guy Pratt. He ditched his whole touring band because he didn't want it to feel like he said they'd all be better suited for a Pink Floyd tribute band and not my band anymore. What does that mean?
Yeah,
he had said, I'm going to go on tour and not play Pink Floyd songs.
Right, he's going to play very little Pink Floyd.
But that's a lie, because of course he's going to play half Pink Floyd songs.
There's no way. Of course.
If he goes out there and he plays like 80% of his solo material and 3 Pink Floyd songs for all the money people paid and this only handful of shows in London and the U.S., I doubt it highly.
I would give him major flowers for that. Major flowers.
It'd be impressive, but I just don't think he's going to do it.
Yes, he's not going to do it, but I'd be impressed if he did. This record is, I would say, probably an 8 out of 10. You're absolutely right. It is contemplative. It is somebody facing down mortality. And if you think of life as a football field, as they did in The Wall, if we're being honest with each other and our listeners, David Gilmour just crossed the 5. The human lifespan is finite, and we have gotten a lot of David Gilmour, and I'm really thankful to have this record. It does sound like an old man's record. It does sound like somebody taking stock, and it sounds like somebody who is making memories with his children that won't have enough time to know him.
Ouch, that's painful. Interesting again that this record is like about mortality, and particularly his mortality, not written by him, because again he's not. It's not
right. He's David. He's David.
But I would get a male writer. I would spend time with David. Like, let's spend like a week or 2 together and talk about your life story and write a memoir and have dinner together and tell me some stories, and then I would write the lyrics. I wouldn't.
I agree.
I know she knows him better than anybody, but like a lack of perspective, not a guy, not him in his shoes. No, I don't know. I would take a different approach.
I know you should not have your family, especially your significant other, in your band writing your music. That is what it is. However, that is what David Gilmour is, and it has been that way for a long time. So bemusing that, bemoaning that is not going to change anything. Let's talk about...
Can I?
You can?
Please?
I got my eyebrow up.
You don't ever stop. Edie Brickell.
No, I don't.
Edie Brickell wrote songs with Paul Simon, but she was already a songwriter by herself before she
Right,
wrote it.
That's a different deal.
Yeah. I would say that this album is also an 8 for me, but it's like reaching to an 8, and the lyrics almost make it a 7. Lyrics almost make it a 7. And the fact that it's like a very boring... I think if I'm having my insomnia problems, I might put this on to try to go to sleep to, which is sad. It's not bad by any stretch. It's not the Endless River bad. Like, it should not have come out. I'm not, the Endless River should not have ever been released, especially with Pink Floyd's name on it. I know they were trying to get money to Rick's family.
I know.
You could just give them money. Like, you don't have to do this so they could get money. But you were gonna rank the albums? Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, my ranking would probably be On an Island, David Gilmour, Luck and Strange.
Oh no.
Ooh, wow, now it gets tricky. And then there's 2 others.
I mean, I hadn't planned to do this, but
I hadn't planned on it either, but I just did it.
You just did it. You did it.
I pulled a Peter Malark. Can he do that? He just did.
You pulled a Keefy. On an Island, David Gilmour, About Face, Luck and Strange, Rattle That Lock, in that order. Rattle That Lock is not that good.
No, it's not. But I think this is better than. I think this is better than About Face.
Yeah, and then again, none of these records would be Pink Floyd records. I think none of Roger's records are good enough to be Pink Floyd records.
No. I will disagree on one record, just one that he's done, just absolutely one. And that would be Is This the Life We Really Want? Because he had a producer that said, no, you need to make a Pink Floyd record. And then he had a dude totally impersonate Rick. It was amazing. And then he had another dude totally impersonate Dave. So he made one, except he didn't have that guy singing, which would have made that record a lot better. Because Roger's not a great singer.
I'm going to say fraud the way Al Pacino said fraud when he was playing the character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Fraud!
All right. Anything else we need to say about this?
No, I'm glad it came out. I love David. I want more David. Every time David plays guitar, it adds a few minutes to my life. And, but, am I going to go back and listen to this record forever? I don't know.
I will. But, that's me. So I asked Keefy, anything else to say? No. And then he talks for 2 minutes. So, which one of us never stops? Both of us. My final thoughts on this record is I am absolutely thrilled that I was able to have the 6 months of waiting for this. The payoff may not have been as good as the anticipation, because this is a Midland David Gilmour solo record. We did not compare it to Pink Floyd. We did not even compare this to Pink Floyd minus Roger, just David's solo records. And it is, the average would be 3.5 out of 5, because I gave it a 3, Keefy gave it a 4. But it's still a worthwhile record to listen to. And you know what? Again, as I said at the top of the show, or the top of the meet anyway, for Pink Floyd, any Pink Floyd release is special, and for the past 4 years we've been eating good, and this is like the 10th Pink Floyd release in the past 4 years. So I would love for this to continue, that we get 2 Pink Floyd or related records a year.
So apparently right after the tour is over, David is going right back in the studio to make the follow-up record to this. So we will.
And that's what he said, but he said that before. I wasn't going to bring it up. You know what? Vinnie Vincent also has 18 records that he's ready to release at the pressing plant. So
it was a matter of time. We haven't talked about Vinnie Vincent in a while.
I try not to, but you know what? Okay.
Did you just compare Vinnie Vincent to David Gilmour?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just saying that there's a lot of big talk in the world. And you know what? When you have a release date, I'll get excited. You know, in this world of journalism where, you know, a tweet is a 4-page article, where, you know, somebody mentioning they had a phone call with a previous bandmate will launch 1,000 ships. You know, I need more than I'm going to go to the studio when I'm doing this after this tour is over. Because, I mean, this tour is over in 3 weeks. This is not a long tour, and that's fine. I mean, I get why he doesn't want to road dog it.
Technically, Halloween is Los Angeles.
Oh my God, it's a 3-week tour. It may not be 3 consecutive weeks, but he's only playing 3 cities.
Yeah, that's true.
So whatever you want. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you, David Gilmour, for, if nothing else, giving us one last time to be excited, giving us one last time to anticipate that wonderful, lovely guitar sound that you have given us for over 50 years now. If we get one more record, we might have had 60 years of David Gilmour. That's ridiculous. That's amazing, and that is wonderful. As always, joined by my good friend, my hetero life mate on Zoom, Keefy Chakas, who is one of my favorite people in this whole goddamn world. Because he is one of the few people that will call me out when I'm a dick. Most people just go, Nick, he's Nick. Keefy wants to talk, so he wants to shut me up, and that's what I appreciate about him. But all that being said, this has been the Glacially Musical Podcast. It does not play in Peoria. And without a doubt, David Gilmour has always been way too important to play Peoria.